Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Vibrancy comes in spurts sometimes. It's not a continual thing. You know, you're not living your life on this high all the time, but it is the plumb line, so to speak, of your life, vibrancy. And we create it. It's all about the creation aspect of it. You know, we can't not create it. It has to be created. It doesn't just show up at your front door saying, hey, it's me, vibrancy, let me in, you know? So I believe too that as we understand and we say this is what we want this vibrancy, then we need to have some underlying truths ahead of time. This is our foundation. This is what helps to create the 10 things that we're going to be talking about. But this is big stuff here, and I want you to definitely take notes and then just look at it and see, am I here? Am I doing this? Is this part of what I am? So one of my biggest underlying truths is, and you've heard me say this, probably a bazillion times, is understanding who you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Amen? You are. God created you on purpose for a purpose. You know, it's not just you're not random. You're not just, here she is. How'd that happen? No, there is absolute purpose. There's absolute reason that you are here. And our reason for everybody, of course, is that we are to help others. I believe that's why we want to help others so much. Part of the problem is that we get into this whole idea of over-volunteering and giving out too much and playing for an audience and approval instead of doing things out of the goodness of our hearts. Sorry, but it's true. I've done it. I know what that is. To the degree that we neglect ourselves and our own families sometimes. So I'm just circling the wagons and coming back and say that understand that this is indeed part of what our purpose is, but in order for you to do this in your own way, your own unique way, because that is who you are, you're gonna have to search for that. You know, that doesn't come with an easy answer. That comes with time. That comes with the search. That comes with generating in your head this idea that it's out there. It just needs to come on in. I know this is part of the whole brain thing that we talk about, the reticular activating system, that when you put it out there, you're going to start seeing it. It's like you decide you want to buy a red Prius, suddenly there's red Priuses on the road, right? Well, have they just now shown up? No. You've just activated that part of your brain that is looking for them. The same thing can happen for you as you look for how you are going to uniquely fulfill your promise, your purpose in this life. And there are seasons of that. We've talked about that as well. You know, as you might be raising little kids right now or bigger kids, whatever, but you're parenting, and that's your call right now. That's your purpose. Or taking care of somebody elderly, that's your purpose. I'm not trying to take anybody off their task, but I'm trying to get you to see how beautiful that is and how purposeful and beautiful and magnificent it is as you fulfill this. And as you look for unique ways and creative ways to do this, I think you're going to be super blessed as you go, and it's going to change and it's going to become one level up. Hand to God, promise. And one of the other thing too is that, and I want to say, is that if you think you don't have time, I'm going to tell you you do. If you are drawing breath, you have time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. It's how we spend it. If you have an issue with that and you're just saying, well, I just don't know, and I don't know where my time is going, go to savingdinner.com/time to get a time block sheet, which will help you to figure out how to block your time or figure out where your time is going as well. And I'm not talking about it's 10:05 and I'm eating breakfast. It's 10:10, I'm taking my supplements. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about big blocks of time that we mysteriously lose because we get lost in social media, get lost on our phones, get lost in doing whatever. When we can figure out where our time is going, then we can redeem it properly. Number 3 is the yeah buts serve no one. We know that, right? We know that yeah but is an excuse. It's not a truth. And we understand this as an underlying principle for where we're going on this. So those 3 things you got to have kind of down pat. Otherwise, how are you going to create the change if you're stuck in this whole thing? I don't have time. Yeah, but and you don't think that you have purpose. You got to have these things down. These are foundational principles. Those 3 things. So now we're going to get to the 10 things of, I know, like this is such a big deal, right? of how to actually create, that life that you want. What's your framework? Number 1 is you start with a declarative, unmovable statement. I ams are really, really good for this. So understand that this unmovable statement that we're talking about is a decision that you've made about your life. One of the things that I'm starting to say, I used last year, it was all about, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm starting to move to the place of making declarative statements. I am an athlete. Because athletes do things differently. Go read about anyone, go read about anybody and what they're doing, right? These amazing athletes, they're crushing it. Why are they crushing their goals? Because they're athletes, and athletes do things differently. They think things differently. And it's not all about, completing XYZ workouts, or whatever it is. It's becoming athletic, because athletes have a different mindset. They have a different body. They have a different energy level. Athletes are different folks than the rest of us. Now, I'm not going to get to the place of, professional athleticism, but being an athlete is the mindset that I want. Being an athlete is the energy that I want. Being an athlete is the strength that I want. So therefore, I have made my declarative statement, I am an athlete. You figure yours out too, because this is just part of, my whole goal thing that I'm working on. Number 2 is, don't wimp out. Don't wimp out. Don't just say, oh, well, maybe and it could be. Those I am statements are purposely so declarative, are purposely that strong. Be bold. Be bold. I am whatever it is that you are. And I know that, can I just get this hair out of my eye? What in the heck is, sorry, there it is. That is something that we all need. We all need to be in this place of being bold with what it is that we want in our lives. Don't shrink back. If you think, oh my gosh, this is too big, what is everybody going to think about me? Then you're going forward. Go ahead, be a little scared about it. But being bold is better than shrinking back. We've shrunk back our whole lives. It's time to step up into the life that we want to lead. And number 3 is don't crowdsource this. We've talked about this a little bit. Don't open it up and say, well, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? And asking, all the people in your life. I have an issue with that, because, the people that you love in your life, they're going to have opinions. Trust me, they're going to have opinions. And, they're going to tell you what you should and shouldn't be doing. They are. They're going to tell you this. And I think I've shared this story with you, that I had a pastor who told me what I was doing with Saving Dinner was crazy, and I needed to do something safe. He suggested that I go to H&R Block and become an accountant. Well, apparently the man didn't understand anything about me. And I looked him straight in the eye, boldly. I hadn't even started really on this. I hadn't gotten a book deal. I hadn't done anything, but just started a little bit on this, and things were starting to go well. And I looked him dead right in the eye and said, you know what? No, because that's not who I am. I'm not going to create myself for you. I'm not going to create myself so that it makes you feel better. That's not who I am. You have the right to say that at any time to any person. Don't wimp out. Be bold. And don't wimp out to be bold, and don't crowdsource it. Have you seen Hamilton? Anybody seen Hamilton? I will tell you, I have a girlfriend of mine, Jenny, who I adore. Not my Jenny. This is Jenny with a Y, not I-E. This is Jenny. And Jenny, it was my 60th birthday, and she said, well, what are you doing on the night of blah, blah, blah? And I said, nothing as far as I know. It was 3 months out or whatever. For your birthday, I've got tickets to Hamilton. For your birthday, I would like to take you. She lived in New York City. And so this was 2 years ago. So I flew into New York from, North Carolina. Was it North Carolina? Oh, I guess I was in Boulder at the time. So from Denver, flew into New York, and we had the best time. She took me out to dinner. I mean, it was a very extravagant birthday, but I remember this very distinctly of one of the best parts of the show. If you know the music, I'm not throwing away my shot, was what this young Hamilton was talking about. He was 19 years old and everything. Not throwing away my shot. Don't throw away my shot. You have one shot at life. One shot. This is it. You don't get this Tuesday again. You don't get yesterday, and you don't get tomorrow. Live each day as this is your best shot. Live like that so that when you wake up in the morning, you're not having regrets about yesterday. When we start to see that time is precious, that I shared with you yesterday, a woman who redid my website lost her husband this past weekend in a motorcycle accident. She's 37 years old. Do you think she thought that was going to happen? Don't throw away your shot. This is it. This is your life we're talking about. Create it the way you want it. Okay? Don't throw it away. Number 4, work your goals into your daily life. I've done that with, I've got my Take Back Your Life journal right here. You can see it. This is how to do it. You create goals for 12 weeks because they're tangible and they're not overwhelming. And then you build that in on the daily basis. When you build this in, it happens. It happens. It doesn't just become goals that you do, throw away the notebook, and then you look at them next year and it just makes you feel bad. No, this helps you to create them and to make them go. I promise you, it is almost painless to build this into your life, and it just makes so much sense. So look at that, okay? 12 weeks at a time, what you think about expands. It's gonna be a game changer for you. Number 5, what did I just talk about? Your environment supports the life you want to live, or it doesn't. A couple things I'm going to talk about. Well, yeah, sure. Let's have some good stuff. Let's set up the quotes of the week. Let's have these things in here. Let's do journals. Let's meditate. Let's do this. But also, let's have some visual peace. Visual peace. If you're living in chaos, you feel chaotic inside. Your home should reflect how you feel about yourself. Seriously. Every day, make your bed. Every day, replace the toilet paper roll. I remember I was at a friend's house, and they took the toilet paper, the new toilet paper, and just stuck it on the thing. They didn't bother to take the old toilet paper roll off, throw it away, and put the new toilet paper on. Why? That, to me, is just, it's a sign that, too much going on, I don't know, but let's clean up after ourselves. Let's do these little things. They are declarative statements of where you want to go in this life. You clean up after yourself, you're creating your environment you want, you have peace. Visual peace is a part of that. Creating that environment is your opportunity to do so. Number 6, your mind is your GPS. So reprogram it to suit you. Recalculating, you ever had that happen with your GPS? Recalculating, and you're just going in circles. You've got bad directions in there. I don't want you on that. To me, that recalculating thing, that's the crazy lady calling you from the carousel of crazy, going around and around, up and down, going nowhere, fast. Same old, same old, same old. No. We need to create a vision for our lives, the goal of where we want to end up, and we need to set a starting place. And as we do that, and we keep rejecting the thoughts that are holding us back and replacing them with things that do, we keep moving. Have you noticed how that works? We keep moving. And further, as we replace these thoughts, we start to enjoy the journey. We're no longer in this panic. I just want to lose 5 pounds. I just want to get to my goal weight. That's all I can think about. When you're doing all of that, you're rejecting your journey. You're rejecting the change that is wonderful that's going to happen inside of you. You're having a new life. Whoop! And it's your journey. You know, your journey is really the key. It's not so much, yeah, I mean, the goal is fabulous, but the journey and embracing that and just really digging into that and allowing it to change you, that's the juicy stuff right there. Okay, number 7, what others think about you is none of your business. Really? You want to get into that? You want to have that be a thing? How about no? How about say, I'm done with that? How about I don't really give a hang anymore because it's not going to help me? Have you noticed that you get stuck in these thought loops of just, you know, this is insane and what did I do and how can it be? At some point you got to drop it because you've got other things to take up headroom for, right? You've got other people to think about. You've got other things to do. You've got a life to lead. And these people are paying free rent to be in your head. Really? Drop it like it's hot. It's not serving you. Not serving you at all. Carry on. Get away from what people are thinking about or what you think they're thinking about you. It's just over. We're not in 8th grade anymore. It's time to up the ante on what it is that we want in this life. Number 8, fear is a function of your brain, right? It's a function of your brain, and it gets triggered from whatever reason. We all have our different points of like beep, 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 you know, the little buttons get pushed. We all have it, but your brain can be controlled when you make that decision to control it. Your amygdala is the fear center of your brain. It is one of the most primitive parts. And when we live in that primitive place, we're on the ground. We're in the low level vibration. We've talked about that. We want to go up, then use the highly developed part. That's your prefrontal cortex that does abstract thinking. And you can just say, oh, my amygdala hates it. So here's the deal. Here's what we're going to do instead. Calm down, amygdala. When we learn how to manipulate our brain to get what it is that we want, we start using this guy, this prefrontal cortex. We stop living in the back of our heads, the amygdala, and also, you know, 95% of us, says Bruce Lipton, who wrote The Biology of Belief, live in the unconscious. In other words, we just get in the car, we drive, and we don't even know how we got there. That's how we're living our entire lives. Not on purpose, just by chance, just whatever is next. Take it as it comes. I want you to be the change maker. I want you to create the waves in your life, not just getting knocked over. It doesn't work. And remember, number 9 is that you have a voice. Yeah, you do. Use it. You have a voice in your life. No one has the right to tell you what to do and how to do it. They just don't. I don't care if you've been married for 45 years and your husband's always mowed you over. It's time to stand up. And I'm sorry if that's gonna, you know, rock the boat a little bit in your life, but this is your one shot. Are you gonna just throw your one shot away because you don't want to upset your husband? You don't want to upset anybody because you're going to use your voice in your life. You're going to say, you know, it's enough. I don't care for this. Let's discuss this. Are you ready? You ready for that? I don't care if this is going to upset anybody. I'm going to say it over and over again. You have the right to have a voice in your life. It's your life, your one life. Because I promise you, when you go to your deathbed, you're not going to have all those people there on your deathbed with you. You know, you have to do that alone, and you have to have a voice alone in your life. That doesn't mean you have to be a jerk about it. It just means you need to speak up. Something wrong? Let them know, and use the terminology that serves you and them, which is, I feel this way, or this is a concern of mine, without going, you always. Come on, let's grow up. Let's take responsibility for how we feel and just simply present it. I want a discussion about this. This is big girl stuff. Are you pulling up your panties? I know you are, but it makes all the difference in the world. When we have a voice in our life, we get the life that we want. We don't get the default. You know, we're not living on somebody else's terms. We're living on our own, and that's okay. Pinkies up. Number 9. Oh, that was number 9. Number 10 is remember the secret formula. What is the secret formula? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? It is motivation plus momentum equals success. Your motivation is all within. And your motivation comes from the action that you do. And as you do your action, as you do the thing that you need to do, as you speak up, as you reprogram your GPS, as you set up your environment to support yourself, you are doing the things, the action things that are going to create the momentum in your life. And these are little changes that you can do. You make your bed every day and have somebody say, what the heck is happening here? What the heck is happening? Magic. Yes, that's exactly it. Motivation and momentum equals magic. It is the magic. It's the secret sauce. It works 100% of the time. It's never not worked. It's never not worked. It creates the success that you're looking for. To not do this is just turn your back on yourself. And one of the things we don't do in this group is quit on ourselves. Absolutely never, ever, ever, ever do we quit on ourselves. As a matter of fact, when we fall down, we stand back up and say, bring it on again, bring it on again. We do not quit. We are those tenacious women. That's how we roll. And I want you to remember something, that for me, my word of the year is consistency. Consistency. This is a daily snapshot of how I can live my life when I do these things. When I do these things. You know, what happens when I do these things? I get on that growth. I added the secret sauce to my life. I'm now creating the life that I want to lead. Will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. Do you lose weight overnight? No. Do you become an athlete overnight? No. Do you become a good cook overnight? An expert crocheter, knitter? No. How do you learn how to parent? By grace and on your knees. How do you learn how to love an elderly parent that's becoming a total PITA? You know what a PITA is, right? I'm going to start using my cuss words again. Pain in the ass. That's what a PITA is. You know, it happens. This is what happens in our lives. But anyway, just because it happens doesn't mean that we succumb to that and just go whine in the corner because this is happening. No, we stand up, we have a voice in our lives, we set up our environments, and we keep moving forward because that's the kind of women that we are, right? Are we going to get vibrancy? You bet your patootie you will. You're going to get vibrancy in spades. And not only that, but you're going to enjoy every single day because you're in charge. You've made that decision. It's your life and you're the creator. How about that? I like that a lot. Thank you for joining me. It's been a fun ride. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a little long show, but you know, it's important. If you're going to transform, we need some steps. The PITAs, yeah, you guys, I know, half-assery, badassery, and now PITA. What can I say? Potty mouth. I'm holding on to it. Peace be with you. Love you guys. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.